Welcome to Copilots, the podcast where we watch not just the first episode of a show,
but also the second. Some shows just don't have the best pilot episode, and giving that second chance might just change your mind.
Here, we take that chance for you and let you know our opinion on if a show deserves more than one shot.
I'm Justice. Alongside me is my co-pilot Josh. Now, let's get ready for takeoff. Your in-flight entertainment this time will be As the Bell Rings.
So, as the bell rings, it's important to note that this show
is not as ominous as I think my diction would lead you to believe. It's not like some teenage version of like a dark, gritty, for whom the bell tolls like story. Though, now that I've said that, I want that.
And, if we're going to be honest, this show is rather short. I think you could probably watch the entirety of both seasons in, the amount of time it would take you to watch Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
I'd say about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And is that because we forgot that February is a dumb month? Maybe. Who knows? I'll never tell.
I think it more has to do with the fact that I work second shift and my hours just got extended, and you work first shift, and we don't really have the time to sync up and watch a longer show. So,
I just completely forgot about that February was a month. So I would have been fine to do something on a weekend, but I forgot.
Like I said,
dumb. Things
lined up in a weird way. So we watched As the Bell Rings, which, if you're familiar with the Disney Channel as a concept,
no.
you might be aware of the fact that I can't speak for now. I haven't watched the Disney Channel in probably
a decade more, maybe.
No, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. What?
When the fuck did you last watch Disney Channel? I probably have not watched Disney Channel in almost 10 years.
I'm hedging, but also my friend lived with his grandmother, and she still had cable.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, even when I had cable, I wasn't watching Disney Channel.
Oh, we watched, I think Atlantis was on one night while I was staying there.
Okay, then I can understand it.
But Disney Channel, in the last 6 years, I can't speak for, but historically,
very little commercial time.
Doesn't actually have ads. Like non-Disney ads. Mm-hmm. All ads on Disney Channel are for Disney.
Disney stuff, Disney products, whatever. And sometimes they just didn't feel like doing that, and they would run short skits and things.
There was a short skit about a kid, talking about new DVDs coming out, Disney DVDs.
Yeah.
And he'd review them, although he was a paid actor, so by review, I mean, he would tell you to buy them.
Yeah. Was Kid President Nickelodeon or Disney?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
It was just a kid who's president. Not really, obviously.
Kids can't be president? You have to be 45
exactly.
years old to be a president. Yeah. 40 years old? I don't remember. What's the age limit?
I think it's 45 because I think it's 35 to be a senator.
And 25 to be Congress?
Some shit like that. It's dumb. Anyways, though.
I don't want to get into that political topic.
Yeah. So, As the Bell Rings is gonna be one of those little space fillers that Disney would run. Either normally they would run them during a complete commercial break, or because sometimes they just had weird programming blocks.
Because Disney Channel original movies were made to fit into time slots, but sometimes they would go over a little bit or under a little bit, and you have to add in. Well, I guess yeah.
So they might sometimes they would throw an old Mickey Mouse cartoon on there, or they'd have original series.
So As the Bell Rings takes place in the interstitial moments between classes in a high school.
Yep.
Like how the show is set in the interstitial moments between other shows.
Yes.
It's meta. Do you get it?
Yeah. And so the show starts with an opening card animation, which feels like a waste of time.
It's a 20-second musical intro, and the music is actually good. The title song, fun. It slaps.
The opening animation's not bad. It's pretty, I would say, generic given the graphic designs for the time.
Mm-hmm.
But a yearbook falls down, pops open. It's the school. We get some bright paint colors. The screen's background is white, and then As the Bell Rings, in a very Saved by the Bell font/collar, because obviously you got that recognition you can go with there.
And then we get a still of each character. They get an action shot. We get their actor's name and then their character's name. And that brings us to the fact that this is Demi Lovato's first role as a starring actress.
Sure.
She was a co-star on 2 or 3 seasons of Barney and Friends. But this is her first starring role.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, are any of the children on Barney really starring or co-starring?
I think by definition they are co-stars.
Yeah, but I mean, are they really?
No, because it's a giant purple dinosaur and other dinosaurs that are the stars of that show.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Also, did you know Barney is getting a reboot?
No.
Yeah, Barney's getting a reboot
Weird.
in the year of our Lord 2023.
Let's nostalgia everything.
I don't know if it's nostalgia. Well, it might be. Weird. I don't know if anybody that grew up on Barney is going to intentionally be watching Barney.
Look, we're returning to good old values, so we're returning to things.
Don't use good old values.
Yeah.
No. That's the problem with like the fact that the political seats are age gated, because it means that you're creating a divide between generations, specifically based on the fact that the younger generations cannot even hold office.
It's almost like that would be why there's a lot of political rhetoric from people in power, often disparaging and denigrating the younger generations, and has been for the longest time in American history.
I didn't want to get into this topic, but God, do I hate it.
Yeah.
Anyways, as the bell rings, Demi Lovato's first starring role.
Ah, the good old times. Back when Demi Lovato was an actress and not a singer.
Hey, her music's fine.
Oh, I was just doing more of the good old time thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her like first big show was like Sunny with a Chance, right? That was her?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue her first big thing was probably Camp Rock.
Oh yeah, but that didn't get a show. That was just a movie.
Yeah, but it was probably her first big thing. I think Sunny with a Chance came out after that.
Yeah, it did because yeah. Also, Jonas Brothers were Pog.
Yeah, still are.
God, they're so good. This is just me like being like, man, Disney was cool. Do you remember Radio Disney? Oh,
I was never a huge fan of Radio Disney.
They just played good music all the time.
Look, man.
They played Story of a Girl at least like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
This is the story of a girl.
You listened to Radio Disney. I listened to a fucking black metal radio station that I cannot remember the fucking name of.
Look, if it wasn't...
Because I was like 5, and I was like, satellite radio, click. Whoa. And then my little brain exploded, and I've been happy with metal ever since.
If it wasn't Radio Disney, it was Squiz.
Yeah, I would listen to Squiz too, but like... There was a station like 2 below Squiz that I cannot remember the name.
Was it Boneyard?
No, Boneyard was like up and also no.
Okay.
And it's also before Squiz was Squiz.
No. Squiz was the original
Was Squiz the original?
Now it's Octane.
Look, Satellite FM has gone through so many fucking rebrandings of shit. I don't remember what any of the names are supposed to be.
I miss Squiz because Squiz had character. Octane is generic.
Octane sounds like the parody of a heavy rock station that I would find while playing a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yes. Anyways, do you want to talk about As the Bell Rings, or do we want to keep talking about Radio Disney?
It's Flower Day.
It is Flower Day.
Knock off Valentine's Day, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's like the school was afraid that Valentine's Day being named after Saint Valentine was maybe religious in nature, and they really didn't want to like push that envelope. So they're like, what if we just called it Flower Day?
Yeah.
Although that's not true, because it's not even a Valentine's Day knockoff, because they mentioned Valentine's Day in this.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's in the very beginning, because we have a group of kids. Let's run through some names real fast for you.
Yes, because we have our character cards. So we have, first up, Charlotte, played by Demi Lovato.
And then we have Danny, who is played by knockoff Drake Bell.
Yeah.
Then we have our hot in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Not that... If I was 14, she would be pretty.
Sure.
But I'm not 14. So, quotation marks hot, vapid girl.
Tiffany, who you might recognize from playing the character Brooke on the newer Scream television series.
That show was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was enjoyable.
Then we have Danny's best friend, our comedic relief character, Skipper.
You can tell because his name is Skipper.
I mean, then we also have the nerdy girl, Brooke.
You can tell because she has glasses.
And does a cartwheel. Cartwheels are nerdy now.
Ah.
And then we have the straight man to Skipper's comedy character.
/ also a comedic character in the second episode, Toe Jam. You can also tell he's not a serious character because he's called Toe Jam.
See, I could see Skipper being like, not necessarily somebody's real name, but like a logical nickname.
Yeah.
Toe Jam, somebody in a writer's room was like, wouldn't it be funny if we called him Toe Jam?
Yeah. Whereas in real life, that means this kid definitely got like teased about a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, he 100%.
He has just hard reclaimed his name.
He like when he got to middle school in like 6th grade and they had gym class.
Yeah,
he
got like athlete's foot once and no one let it down.
Yeah, he got like bullied so hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now he uses his comedy as a form of self-expression and to hide his pain.
But yeah, so the episode opens with Danny, Toe Jam, and Skipper talking, and Toe Jam and Skipper are like, hey, Danny, are you going to get Charlotte a flower?
And he's like, man, I would really like to, but like, I don't know if she'd like that or if like she's gonna get me one. I don't want to make it awkward, you know.
Yeah, and this is where we get a reference to Valentine's Day because Toe Jam goes, yeah, you wouldn't want to go all out if she didn't get you anything. Skipper knows about that, and it flashes to Skipper dressed up as like.
So he hands her like a giant card
that's like bigger than his head.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't have to do anything. I didn't get you anything." He's like, "It's fine. I don't even really like Valentine's Day."
This was a spur of the moment kind of thing. But he's got like wings on and a little bow and arrow and
like a red lycra bodysuit.
And when he said he gave the Valentine to her, it was to Tiffany, our vapid dumb blonde. That's the character. Yeah. She's a dumb blonde.
It's the character trope.
And that's where we get the Valentine's Day reference.
Okay.
So then we cut over to Charlotte, Brooke, and Tiffany.
I mean, before that, Skipper says, "It's fine. I have a plan to find out if she's going to get you a flower." And then we cut to the girls.
And every time we cut, the bell rings. We get a stinger of the song, "As the Bell Rings."
And we get a quick, like, little cutaway image, normally of one of the characters doing something briefly.
Brooke cartwheels, because cartwheels are nerdy now. Mm-hmm. But then we cut to Brooke, Tiffany, and Charlotte, and Brooke's like, I don't even understand Flower Day. And Tiffany goes, it's the day when popular kids get flowers from other kids.
And then Brooke goes continue on about how, like, it's demeaning to people who don't get them. And, like,
it's enforcing negative.
Every time she goes to make a new point and someone gives Tiffany a flower, she's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And this all came about because at the very beginning of this scene, Tiffany asks Charlotte if she thinks Danny will get her a flower.
If she's getting Danny a flower.
I think they ask if he thinks if...
Because then she goes, I don't know. It depends on if he's going to get me a flower. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, while they're having this conversation, Skipper, dressed up as a janitor...
we see him in the background for a while.
Shows up and gets incredibly...
up close to everybody, awkwardly so,
and is being like, if I was a young strapping boy, I would love to get a flower from one of you girls.
If I was a young lad, I would love to get a flower from a young lady.
If I was a young warthog.
Yeah, and he asks Charlotte if there's anyone she plans on getting a flower, and she seems a bit hesitant. She's like, "What happened to rhyme with Lanny?"
And then Brooke's like, "Is that you, Skipper?" And he goes, no, my name's Kipper with a K.
Skipper's my nephew. He's a
swell lad."
Yep.
And then he leans into Tiffany and goes, he'd probably like to get a flower from you, Tiffany.
And she's like, "How do you know my name?" He's like, I got janitor stuff to do, and leaves.
Yeah. So then we get to the next scene, which has Skipper,
Toe Jam, and Danny all together.
No, there's no Danny. It's just Skipper, Toe Jam, Brooke, and Tiffany.
And they're all talking about how they could have just asked. Well, Brooke's really just telling Skipper, you could have asked if Charlotte was going to get Danny a flower.
Skipper's still wearing the fake mustache from being Kipper.
You could have just asked and we would have told you.
Yeah, and like they both come to the conclusion that that both Charlotte and Danny are willing to get the other a flower if they are getting a flower in return.
They just don't want to make it awkward by getting them a flower and the other person not getting them one.
So the friends all decide to tell Charlotte and Danny respectively that the other person is getting them a flower. Problem solved. This idea comes from Tiffany, but she doesn't realize this idea came from her. Yeah. Because, again, dumb blonde character trope. Mm-hmm. So
then we have Toe Jam, Skipper, and Danny all together. They're exiting a class, and Danny's thanking the other two for getting him the information. He'll make sure to get Charlotte a flower now.
But the flowers have sold out.
Yeah, the flowers are sold out, and so he's freaking out a tiny bit.
And then Skipper grabs him by the arm and goes, I've got an idea.
I've got another idea.
Oh, yeah, because Skipper had an idea earlier, and that was to be Kipper the janitor.
Yes. So he drags them off screen left.
We get the girls coming in from on-screen right.
I mean, kind of the middle of the screen because they come through a door.
Yeah, that's right.
Just behind the table for flowers.
And then Charlotte's like, they're out of flowers.
Yes. And then Brooke says she has an idea and she's not going to let this get all messed up.
So we then cut back. We get a transition slide. And now Charlotte and Danny are in the same hallway. Because the entire show is one set.
Yeah, I was literally just about to get to this because I was like, we just gave stage directions, which is weird if we don't have the stage. Which the stage is one long hallway that we were looking straight down the entire time. And then I would assume to be a balcony or windowsill or something, which would be where the camera is.
Yes.
And then we have a hallway to our left and a hallway to our right. We do not see down them. We are just aware of their existence.
Yes.
We have lockers down that hall we're staring down, and we see a few classroom doors.
Because this show has one set.
Yeah. So the boys came out of a classroom door in the right, and then up and left the front of stage left, so down the hallway. And the girls came out of a door on the left side of the hallway that we're looking down, and then exited stage right front, down the right hallway.
And then we get a scene transition, and Danny and Charlotte are standing in front of this balcony way or this little stone low wall.
Looking straight at camera, basically.
And Charlotte's like, I didn't end up getting you a flower. And Danny overacts so hard.
He's like, oh, good, yeah, that's great. Not great. It's just...
they were sold out.
I didn't either. They were sold out.
And then she's like, but I still got you a backup flower. And it's this large, like, fake flower.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of crepe paper folded up together to make a large flower.
And Danny's like, I got you something too, but it doesn't look near as nice.
And in comes Skipper, wearing a skin-tight green bodysuit and a giant daffodil petal arrangement, as I had dressed.
There was a moment earlier where Skipper also mentioned... He sighed because he's like, well, I guess I gotta go get the mop again.
Yeah.
Because he thought he had to do more spy work.
Yeah.
That hint matters because we then get a final scene transition.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany is like reading a book or something.
Brooke is
reading a book. That makes more sense. I don't know why I thought it was Tiffany. And Skipper's also in front of the balcony doing something else.
And then in the background, with a trash bin walking through, is Kipper.
He goes, hi, Skipper.
To which Skipper responds, hey, Uncle Kipper. Brooke, the one who called Skipper out for being Kipper, looks up surprised, and that's the end of the episode.
Okay, so I get it's a bit,
mm-hmm.
but the bit invalidates the entire thing.
Yes.
Anyways, what'd you think of episode 1? I'll get into that when I think about episode 1.
I think episode 1 is all right. It is, honestly, it feels like, oh, you have a video project you have to do for this class. Do it. And it feels like a high school make a video project type deal.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Part of that's definitely because the one set location, obviously, but also the acting qualities of a lot of the people.
I mean, you might as well just...
And the very simplistic plot.
Acting.
Yeah, there were air quotations around that.
Because out of the cast, solidly half of them,
mm-hmm.
cannot act. They cannot deliver lines. They should not be acting at this juncture in their career.
I would argue the best actors in this are Demi Lovato and the woman playing Tiffany, because arguably actually playing a somewhat believable, extremely vapid character kind of hard.
I would say Skipper is the third best.
Yes.
And everybody else is somewhere in the regards of child actor.
Yeah.
Okay, so saying they shouldn't be acting is rough because, like, how else do you get better? But, like, commercials, stage plays.
This is a commercial space.
That's a fair point. This is commercials. This is Disney's version of commercials.
Yeah.
That you win.
Think of this as Disney's NXT. No one really watches it. But it is there. It's like a step up from developmental.
Okay, but when then did Disney's NXT become the most, like, relevant thing you should be watching? Because there was, like, a 4 or 5 year stretch when NXT was the best thing WWE was doing.
After Corey and the House went off the air, but before any actual good show started up, like Wizards of Waverly Place or whatever.
Does not overlap?
I don't think so. I don't know. I just threw out 2 shows I know existed on Disney Channel that I don't think overlapped.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think as a space filler, this made sense, right? Like,
mm-hmm. I mean, thematically, I think it worked really well as the bell ring sort of thing. Which
like I said, it's meta. It's so meta.
It works pretty thematically there. You had issues with Skipper?
Yeah. Okay, so if it's Skipper dressed up as a janitor and invading the personal space of these teenage girls, one of which he may or may not have a relationship
mm-hmm.
with, that's more okay. It's not okay still, like the way how close he gets to them and like right next to their face. That's still an invasion of personal space. Still not okay. But if it's a like 40-year-old man, it gets a little weird.
Well, see, here's my theory. It's that Skipper was dressed up as a janitor. He just got such easy access to it because he stole his uncle's janitor outfit and just dressed up like his uncle.
You know what? You fixed it.
Yeah, I just figured Skipper dressed up as his uncle. That's all that bit included, Jimmy.
You fixed it.
It also explains the fake mustache.
Anyways, episode 2, the talent show.
Does it actually have a name? Are these actually named?
Yes, these are named. They all have individual episode titles. They all have. There's an entire like season guide, episode by episode. And from what I understand, you could buy season 1 and season 2 on a DVD combo pack. They actually produced this as a show you could buy. So like, yes, they have episodes. There's probably a director's commentary or something out there somewhere.
Ridiculous. So
I hope to God there's a director's commentary. Jesus Christ.
Talent show.
Or even better, I hope that the DVD came out like late, like far enough, like after the show actually aired, that Demi Lovato, who isn't in season 2, gotta do a commentary track on it. Please, God. No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, so like Demi Lovato's actually off being successful, so she's not involved at all. So it's just everyone else talking about how they worked with Demi Lovato for it.
Oh, that would actually be even better. Holy shit. Like, it happens like 6 years after As the Bell Rings, and they're all recording, and they're like, yeah, so this is the first time we've all been in the same room since we did As the Bell Rings.
Obviously, Demi's not here. She's off doing like some tour or whatever. Honestly, it's so great to see that she's doing so well. You know, it was really nice to just like be able to sit and work with someone as like becoming who they're gonna be as an actor. You know, it was such a personal moment in my life, and I'm certain it wasn't hers.
It was just such a wild moment. Like working like across the screen from such an emerging talent,
and like the thing is, like, you know, like we were all kind of aware she was gonna do great. Like, you're never really certain of that. So, like, to actually see it happen is just, like, it's so amazing.
When she got Camp Rock, we knew she was gonna, like, blow up. Like,
yes, shit like that.
God. Did we just fantasy book the best commentary there could ever be?
No, the best commentary there could ever be is quite different.
I meant for As the Bell Rings.
For As the Bell Rings, yes.
Yeah, we just fantasy booked the best As the Bell Rings episode commentary. Holy shit, I want that so bad. But yeah, episode 2 is titled The Talent Show.
Which you immediately know is The Talent Show because, one, immediately a character mentions it, and also, there's a giant banner hung up on the hall that says Talent Show.
It's called stage dressing, Justice.
Yeah, my problems with the stage dressing in this show, hear me out, because I actually have a problem with the first episode that I forgot to mention, because The Talent Show. They're obviously just large painted banners, right, that, like, kids did, high school kids did, but, I've never seen less effort put into these signs. And I went to an actual high school, an actual publicly funded high school.
Well, I mean,
don't get me wrong. A lot of people don't give a shit, but you do know what they like? Missing classes, so they make it elaborate so they can miss class to do a sign.
Well, I mean, it depends. It's like for Spirit Week for us, we didn't like get out of class to do it. Like Spirit Week was we stayed after school. And for 8 hours, for like till like literally 11 p.m. midnight, worked on banners and stuff. But hey, it was hella fun and like...
Yeah, but like even like the stuff for like a talent show or something like the Flower Day setup, you know, is normally something that it's being set up by a group that actually kind of cares about it, so they make it look at least moderately okay.
That's a fair point, yeah. Typically, you're right. There's a little bit of passion involved because like... It's
and not just like... one take, let's paint the words and nothing else.
Yeah, that is weird. Because if there's one thing teenagers are known for, it's like having passion for their hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing they're known for is scaring the shit out of me. What? You're giving me a look.
I don't know what you could possibly be talking about. Why would I be giving you a look?
I don't know. It's almost like you think My Chemical Romance isn't a relevant band to be referencing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
Yeah, see, I've got no clue.
You do know, and you're just being facetious, and I hate you for it.
Anyways, The Talent Show. So we have all of the friends debating, well, not really debating, kind of just informing each other what they're going to do for the talent show.
Yeah, let's see. Skipper has to go practice. He doesn't say what he has to go practice.
Yeah, he says he has to go practice.
Tiffany is torn between doing hand modeling and singing the alphabet backwards.
Yeah, actually we don't see Burke or Toe Jam here.
Yes, that's true. And Tiffany is, like I said, torn between doing hand modeling or singing the alphabet backwards. She then attempts to sing the alphabet backwards and gets to Y.
Z, I'll be right back. And then she heads off. And Charlotte then asks Danny if he's going to do anything on the talent show. And she's like, nah, I'm just going to watch my friends and support him. Which, straight up, base take, realist. Don't try to wrap him into whatever you're about to do. Okay, of course, she tries to wrap him into her thing.
Importantly, if everybody did a talent at a talent show, A, is there a point in having a talent show?
Yeah, no.
B, a talent show is going to be way
too long.
Way too long. Like, it's going to be like a wrestling pay-per-view booked by Tony Khan too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
unless your talent show has auditions, which theirs might. We don't know. They never talk about it.
Not if she's doing the alphabet backwards.
Assumedly, she's the popular girl. She gets in on whatever her talent is.
To be fair, I was actually fairly impressed with her hand modeling skills. I was like, oh, she's actually definitely done hand modeling commercials.
Anyways, though, Wheeler and Demi Lovato is going to do a song.
What?
I never would have guessed.
Demi Lovato's going to sing?
Crazy.
To be fair, I'm 100% sure she was singing on Barney, too. Like,
oh yeah, like every fucking kid would sing on Barney.
Clean up, everybody do your share.
I assume that's a Barney song. I don't know Barney.
Man, you missed out.
I was a Teletubbies kid. I don't need verbal communication. Just give me a stomach TV and I'm happy.
I mean, yeah, basically hand you a screen. You know, boomers like to complain about how we all have phones attached to our hands 24/7.
They're the ones that made a show with weird giant monster things with television stomachs.
They literally, like, created the idea of having screens attached to your body, and it's our fault.
Yeah. They indoctrinated the shit into me since I was a child, man.
It's like participation trophies. You grew up with participation trophies. Yeah, but we didn't make them. That wasn't our idea. We were just
given them.
That we didn't come up with the concept.
Do you know how many participation trophies I got that I didn't want? Not because I was like, oh, it's demeaning to me. No, it's just because I didn't want to fucking participate in the first place.
You know what's wild is, like, participation trophies that, like, have, like I had an 8th place baseball trophy when there was, like, 10 teams in the league. I'm like,
yeah,
like, this isn't, like, I get the whole, you guys got participation trophies, like, argument, like, why we, like, why millennials and...
But why are you putting the place on there, then?
But, like, 8th place is not, like, a participation trophy. That's, like, a reminder that you did terrible and should feel bad about yourself.
Honestly, I think the worst part, not even just about, like, participation trophies in general. I always hated them because I don't want to put them anywhere, but our parents never let me throw them away.
God, I was so glad when I got to throw all my baseball trophies out. Jesus.
When I threw all my fucking trophies away, it was so fucking nice. I think the one I kept for the longest time was the one I got for reading. I read a fuck ton of books.
Yeah.
Too many books. Arguably.
It's almost like nobody cares about trophies they get unless it's for something they enjoy doing or wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fine. I just kept all the prizes I got for reading instead. The trophy was actually the worst of the prizes. Most
of my prizes I received for reading, or what's the term that means you use it and it's gone?
Consumable?
Consumable in some way, shape, or form. Although, the pencil sharpener I have in my room was a prize for reading, and it still works a decade and a half later.
I got a big book filled with a lot of facts, and also some incorrect information.
I think it has more and more incorrect information in it every year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, like, yeah. But it was a nice little prize, because I like knowing shit. Anyways, talent show. We went off topic.
A little
Demi
bit.
Lovato's doing a song, and she's gonna get Danny to help her.
Like, and she's not just performing a song, which is, like, I think the limit that most kids would do for a talent show is performing your own music is both, like, incredibly soul bearing and, like, potentially, like, opening you up to so much bullying.
Yes.
And B, less impressive because people don't know what it should sound like.
Yeah. My biggest issue here, actually, though, is she is seemingly writing from scratch a new piece of music strictly for the talent show, and I'm just like, bro, there's no way, nah, like, you can make your lyrics. You could probably write a poem in time for your talent show. I don't think you're gonna get a really full, fleshed out song before your talent show, which seems to be very, very soon from the way everyone's acting.
I don't know. Jack's Game Face makes 5 songs a week typically.
Look, it's definitely possible, but, like, my biggest issue is she includes Danny in on it, so they need to both nail that shit down.
He's not necessarily performing with her. He's just helping her with the lyrics.
I mean, from the way they do it later, it seems like...
Oh, yeah, later, but, like...
Anyways, though, as they're doing stuff, each time they seem to be making progress, one of their friends has to come in and interrupt in some manner.
We get bits. This episode is the bits episode, so...
Our first interruption comes in the form of Toe Jam.
Well, no, first Demi goes, I'm gonna sing, and then Brooke comes on screen and, like, she goes, I'm gonna dance, and, like, dances her way off screen.
And then as they're trying to work out what some of the next lyrics should be, Toe Jam comes up with a clarinet.
Plays
like 3 actual notes, and then proceeds to try to destroy the reed.
Yep. And then goes, how was that? And they go, it was hesitate, loud.
And then it's like, it was loud.
And he goes, okay, and leaves.
No, he doesn't say, okay. He's like, cool. He's excited that it was loud and charges off.
Okay.
Demi says her next line for her song. Well, Charlotte says the next line for her song. To which Jenny goes, that's magical, or that's magic. To which Skipper then comes in a top hat and cape and a deck of cards and says, magic?
And for the rest of the episode, anytime somebody says magic, he will show up and attempt to do a magic trick.
Attempt is the correct word because does not succeed. Here he gets Danny to pick a card, incorrectly guesses the card, which the trick would just be a forced draw. Mm-hmm. That's all he's doing. He's just having to pick a card and then trying to guess it.
Then Tiffany shows up and reattempts to sing the alphabet backwards.
Yes, it is now the next passing period. The bells ring.
And she gets to X and forgets the rest.
Z, Y.
She gets to X this time. It's ZY the first time, ZYX.
Yeah. Because she comes back, she's like, I've been working on this all period. Z, Y, X. And then she leaves again. We get another bit of magic. Another bit of dancing. And then Toe Jam comes back and he's like, I'm not going to do the clarinet anymore. I just had to do the snare drum. Nope, not yet. Oh. We then, once again, cut back. Mm-hmm. Because then Tiffany's the next one that interrupts them. And she's like, hey, I actually got it this time. And goes, ZYXW. W. I'll be back. Yeah. And then Skipper shows up with a drum. Toe Jam. My bad. And honestly, one, he has no rhythm on this drum whatsoever. But also, the snare drum sounds honestly so horribly out of tune. It is so loose. It has not been tightened up at all. And it's just horrible. And so, to which they respond, it's louder, and he's happy and charges off again. So then Demi does finish the song, and they do a test run. And for some reason, during this test run, where we've been led to believe that he's just been helping with lyrics this entire episode, yeah, he joins in. And he's not a bad singer. Yeah. He's definitely better than me. He's definitely had introduction to singing classes. Mm-hmm. But, Demi's gonna be a legend. She doesn't need him. Yeah. I'm 100% sure on the commentary with the cast, they're gonna be like, Danny's actually gonna be like, yeah, I don't know why they had me sing with her. Obviously, she was just already so much more talented than any of us. But honestly, I'm just super honored that I, ever got to sing with Demi Lovato. I mean, who can say that? Can you imagine? That's on my resume for the rest of my life. I got to sing with Demi Lovato. Yeah. And while they're singing, the entire hallway creeps up around them. They all start clapping when they're finished. This is 100% a Reddit story where and everyone clapped. Yes. Yeah. Except this time, everyone does clap because it's a TV show. And then after that, Brooke's like, well, you want to know what's really great? And then pops out to do a dance trick. Does not. She's like, I got nothing. And that's the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. We do a cut, and then we come back for our little final scene. Yeah. And it's Tiffany successfully doing the entire alphabet backwards, but there's no one around. Because school's over. There's nobody there. And she's also, like, well, I guess I'll just do hand modeling. I know you said she was the second best or best actor or actress in this episode. In the show, but 100% during this scene, she is staring at the camera, and somebody has put up the alphabet backwards for her to just read from. That's 100%. Yeah. You could watch her eyes track across as she goes. That's fun. Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of our 2 episodes of As the Bell Rings. Da 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 da. What are your thoughts on As the Bell Rings? More channels need to do this. I mean, not anymore, right? Because I was about to be what are TV channels are dying. But more TV channels should have done this. Little stinger shows to play as time fillers. Not necessarily in the space of ads, but when you run a show that's 37 minutes instead of 44, just a little 5-minute thing. No, man, you just sell that extra time. Yeah. Extra time for more ads, baby. I know, capitalism. Make that money. That said, the show's not terrible. For what it was supposed to be, it's fine. Now that you've reframed it for me that this is a commercial, I'm more accepting of all of the terrible acting because, God, is there terrible acting? But it's a commercial, so, I'm sure nobody... It's Disney's NXT. I'm sure at the time of airing, nobody watched this show sequentially through... I'm sure somebody has done it now because people have definitely done it since. Because there's a YouTube video that's just the entire first season, not even individual episodes, just the entire first season. There's also a YouTube video from someone who seems to be fairly successful as a YouTuber, given the amount of views on the video, where he's just talking entirely about As the Bell Rings. Oh, really? Yeah, it popped up while I was looking for this to watch. Was it Scott Kramer? Oh, I have no idea who that is. I don't know who that is, but I was gonna ask if you saw Big Tug listed. He has 200,000 subscribers, but okay. Well, because a little peek inside of my brain when we were pitching shows back and forth, I had recently dived down a TikTok hole of a TikTok creator called Big Tug who has a YouTube channel called Big Tug. And one of his YouTube videos was him talking about this show. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. It unlocked a key memory for me. I don't know if it's a key memory. It's like a spare key memory. Makes sense. Yeah, no, from what I'm seeing, the guy I saw that had a video about this, there's like 749,000 followers.
So 4 times as many as Doug. Anyways, yeah, I think the show is fine. I think it's a cool idea. I think I love the meta-ness of the concept. I wish the acting was better, but like I'm 100% sure that like in addition to this being a show that like has no budget at all because it's one set and like set dressing is like super minimal, they probably also like recorded the entire first season in the span of like 2 or 3 days at most.
I could easily see it, yeah.
Like they didn't have time to learn lines, which is probably why she had to read off of like
or there's the entirely opposite thing of this one is less likely because I don't think these people had any other roles.
No, they weren't involved in like anything Disney at this point, really.
Yeah, but like if Disney was using them as extras or backgrounds, theoretically, which I don't think they did, the other option you would have for this is be like, hey, you have a small gap in doing whatever you're going to do. You're going to come over here, film this real quick, and then go. Yeah,
100%. Like it was definitely something that was not like a fully committed fully committed crew to the show. They probably have like a director that was the director, but they probably weren't there on every shoot.
Oh God, I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, like this show definitely doesn't feel like a production.
Like I said, it feels like a high school, maybe middle school. Hey, we need you to go make a video for this class project.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this was this director's like debut for Disney in the same way that this is Demi Lovato's first starring role. They were like, oh yeah, this is just a way to test what you can do. Go do it.
Like I said, Disney's NXT.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. What did you think of the 2 episodes we watched?
I mean, they weren't bad. They were media that I watched. There is nothing substantial to either of them.
If I told you going forward in your life, between any episodes of a show you watched, you had to watch an episode of this, how upset would you be?
I wouldn't be upset at all. I prefer to like having to watch ads.
Yeah, me too.
But I honestly would still obviously not have something to interrupt my show given the option. But if the actual option was you can watch like 2 minutes of ads, but like they're like medical ads, or you can watch 5 minutes of this thing, I'll be like, give me 5 minutes of the dumb Disney thing. I don't need 2 minutes of you telling me about mesothelioma or type 2 diabetes or fucking any other numerous amount of things.
Or a medicine which side effects may be worse than the symptoms they're treating.
Or, maybe if we're getting spicy here, it's not even a commercial for a medicine, but rather to tell me I may have come into contact with something
and I could be a member of a class action lawsuit. Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use a VPN to pretend I'm British. And the thing I have to say about British television is the ads are so much nicer.
Yeah. Not in the quality of, like, their ads are more enjoyable, because honestly, their ads are kind of boring.
Their ads are just less dystopian.
Yeah, their ads don't make me feel bad about the country I exist in.
I mean, they do because I'm not British, but
okay,
that's
true,
a difference.
Their ads do not make me feel bad about the country where the show is being aired.
Yeah, but I think, would you watch more of this show willingly?
No.
Me neither. It's interesting. It's an artifact of its time. Disney really committed to the whole we don't show commercials thing, and
yeah, arguably it's just a neat concept, and we needed something short.
So we want to thank you for flying with us. We got a bunch of ways for you to keep up to date with us. First of all, we got the Twitter at Copilots Review. We also got the Hive at Copilots Review.
You can email us at copilotsreview@gmail.com.
You can find links to both our Twitter and our email and our Discord and our YouTube and our Patreon at copilotsreview.simplecast.com.
That's it. That's the ways you can contact us.
Them's the plugs. You could also join us over on Patreon, where we have some bonus content backed up, and we'll be making new bonus content at a pace that is our own.
Pace is a strong term.
It's stop and start the same way I binge watch shows.
Anyways, though, yeah, those are the ways to contact us. I guess not really. I guess you could dox us. I would prefer that you did it, but technically, as a person on the internet, you possess the capability to do so.
Please don't find me and show up at my apartment.
If you do, bring a pie or like a casserole. Be neighborly.
I don't think I'm going to eat a casserole if somebody random from the internet shows up.
I didn't say I was going to eat it. I'm just saying they are obligated to bring one.
That's a fair point. Anyways, thank you for flying with us.
Please fly again soon.